Many years ago, in the beautiful city of Owerri, there lived a beautiful young lady whose name was Amara. Amara was so pretty and she knew it. She was slim, beautiful, and she was a successful banker. Amara had several men that wanted to date her because she was so beautiful. And yes, she would date them all. But as soon as they mentioned marriage, she would just dump them. If any of the men tried to propose to her, she would just drop them like hot plates. She knew what she wanted for her life. She did not want to marry a man that was just rich, a man that was just okay, that, could take care of her and the family, and they would live like a modest, average family in Nigeria. No, that was not what she wanted. She wanted to marry an Odogu, Odogu Parara, Odogu billions, Odogu dollars, Odogu pounds sterling. That was what she wanted for herself. For crying out loud, she had watched too many Nigerian movies. She wanted a man that would take care of her. A man that would tell her, you know what, Amara, do not work. Just be beautiful for me. She did not want a man that would tell her, we are going to split the bill. I will take care of 80% of the bill. You will take care of 20% of the bill for the family. No, she wanted a wealthy man, a billionaire, a man that would tell her not to contribute a dime to the household because her existence was enough. So even though her best friend Ada had advised her saying, my dear, be realistic, oh. Is it not better to build with your future husband? Like marry somebody on your level, then together you guys work together and build your own empire. That way you would always have a say in your house, you'll be loved, you'll be respected and all of that. And this kind of men will not joke with you. Oh. They will not joke with you. They will not even cheat on you. They'll be faithful to you. When they remember all the sacrifices that you're a pillar in the household, they will not joke with you at all. Ada will tell Amara. But Amara will simply reply and say, my dear, I am not a construction worker. Oh. I am not an engineer. I'm not a builder. I cannot build with any man from scratch. I want an already made man. The people that are getting married to already made men, do they have two heads? Why will my own be different? After all, it's not God that said he will give us the desires of our heart. Well, this is the desire of my own heart, oh. I want an already made man. Odogu. And as for the cheating, well, if he cheats, that's his problem. As far as he takes care of me, he doesn't, rub it off on my face, my dear, I'm good to go. There is no man that doesn't cheat. The earlier you get that, the better for you. So all this, I want a man that will build from scratch. Oh, that won't concern you. Oh. As for me, I know who I'm going to marry. A wealthy man, importer, exporter, general merchandise. Odogu, that's what I'm going to get. Amara would say very proudly. And Dada will just sigh and say, oh, I've said my own, no. If you like, listen to me. If you like, do not listen to me. May God grant you the desires of your heart. Ada would reply. And so things continued like this. Amara would keep on jumping from one relationship to the other just to pass time. And as soon as the men proposed, she would drop them like a hot plate because she did not want to marry them. So Amara so far had turned down more than 7 marriage proposals. Meanwhile, some ladies were begging God to just give them one marriage proposal. But Amara was busy turning down marriage proposal just like that. But as the years passed, Amara began to get worried. She was no longer young. She was no longer 22, 21. She was heading to 27. And she knew that she had to act fast. She needed to get married on time. So one day she sat down and began to strategize. How do I meet these people? How do I meet these billionaires? Because nobody around me is a billionaire. How can I meet them so that at least they can see me? At least the person has to see me, then like me, then want to marry me. But if I don't even meet them, then how will I, get married to one? So after several days of brainstorming, Amara came up with a perfect plan. She did her research and realized that most of these odogus that she wanted to marry, We're from Anambra, Nnewi to be precise. So if she had to marry one of them, she had to be going to Anambra. She had to make herself visible for her to even gain favor. So Amara made it a point of duty that every weekend she must look for an event that was going on in Anambra State and would travel all the way from Owerri to Anambra to attend, be it a wedding, be it burial ceremony, be it a naming ceremony, whatever it was, she would just appear there, whether or not she knew the celebrant. And she will not just go there like that, too. She will go there looking her very best. Beautiful dress, beautiful hair, with a big smile plastered on her face. As she walked through the event, she'll be greeting the men specially. Oh, good morning, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Hey, good afternoon. She'll be there smiling like fish and pretending to be all, just so she could get the attention of a wealthy billionaire. She did that for a few weeks, yet nothing. None of the billionaires were even noticing her. They just felt she was one of these people that just came around because they were hosting a party, and nobody took interest in her. At this point, Amara became desperate. So she decided to intensify and started going from one prayer house to the other, praying for a man. Sometimes in the prayer houses, ministries, they will tell them to go and buy their wedding gowns and come for a vigil and pray for their husband. And Amara would do it because she was very desperate. So despite the whole busy day at work, coming back late, tired and exhausted, Amara will still carry her wedding gown and go for the vigil by the ministry that she joins to go and pray to God to bring her husband. Amara was desperate. So while she was doing those things at night, she was going for events during the weekend. And finally, it paid off because not long after, Amara met Chinedu, popularly called Edu Brazil, at one of the weddings that she attended. Chinedu was a big boy. He was wealthy. I mean, he had money. His favorite slang was money na water. Chinedu was the kind of person that Amara had envisaged for her life. He was an Odogu Parara, importer, exporter, general merchandise. He always had containers on the high sea. Every time his container was coming in. And for Chinedu, it was love at first sight for him. He saw Amara as a very beautiful woman, and he knew on the spot that he wanted to marry her. He did not even talk too much. By the time he walked up to Amara, Amara was already smiling like a fish. And by the time he said, please, can I have your... Amara didn't allow him to land though. Say yes, yes, yes. She collected his phone and punched in her number. She liked what she saw. She knew Chinedu. She knew who he was, that he was a multi. And she was not going to allow this one pass her by you. So that was how their relationship started though. Amara took her girlfriend job too seriously. Every weekend, she will go to his home and cook very good, delicious soup for him. From onugbo to ohao, she would even pound fresh fufu for him. Chinedu was smitten. He did not know that girls that could cook like his mother still existed. Amara was always cooking different native indigenous meals for him. She will make abacha. She will make uba agwarago. She was doing just too much. And Chinedu was very happy. And not just that, she would dress very beautifully and seductively, but yet would not allow Chinedu to touch her. If he tried to touch her, she would say, oh no, no, please, let us wait till we get married. Chinedu was very impressed that despite his money, Amara was not throwing himself at her. And this made him even long for her the more. So he hastened up and went ahead and got married to her. Their wedding was a lavish one. It was the talk of the town. No expense whatsoever was spared. Edu Brazil was just spraying money, screaming, money na water, money na water. Amara was so happy. This was what she wanted for herself. She wanted a life of luxury, premium luxury. She did not come to this world to suffer. So she was happy. Ada, her friend, also attended the wedding, although Amara had already started cutting her off. Amara did not even allow Ada to be part of her bridal train, saying that Ada did not fit the aesthetics, that she was not beautiful enough and wealthy enough to be on her bridal train. But regardless, Ada still went for the wedding, despite how her best friend Amara had treated her. So soon enough, Amara settled into her marital life. Almost she was happy. She had servants, she had drivers, she was living her best life, shopping and buying all the luxury items. In less than 2 weeks after her marriage, Edu Brazil had told her to leave her job. That how could she, Wunyo Odogu, be working for another man? That no, she should resign. And Amara was so happy and thanked him. But unknown to Edu Brazil, that Amara had already resigned 2 weeks before the wedding. Amara was so happy. Her husband, Edu Brazil, placed her on a 3 million naira monthly salary. That is aside the house expenses. Amara did not know what to do with money. She was always buying wigs, buying shoes, buying handbags, buying clothes. Amara never repeated a single clothes. For what? A whole billionaire's wife. Amara had just become a big girl overnight. And each time her best friend Ada tried to reach out to her, she did not even respond. At some point, she got very upset and blocked her. She said, please, 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 please. I don't like all these poor people around me. Their mentality is too shallow. I need to roll with people of my own class. So that was how Amara cut off and blocked her best friend Ada and blocked her other single friends that she thought that were no longer in the same level as she was. She now started rowing with big women, society women, women of caliber, timber and caliber. She was so happy with her new status and new life. And soon enough, she even got her husband to build a mansion for her mother in Owerri, and also got him to buy a beautiful house for her in Port Harcourt. Amara was so happy. But as the saying goes, nothing good lasts forever. It was barely 2 years down the line, and yet Amara had not been able to conceive once, not to talk of having a miscarriage or at least giving birth to a child. Now, Edu Brazil was getting very uncomfortable, and he began to change towards her, and they began to quarrel more often. Every time he will grumble and say, I've given you everything that you want. I've built a house for your mother, built a house for you. I give you money, I take care of you, and yet you cannot give me a child. Amara would always plead and cry and say, but I'm not the one responsible for giving children now. It is God that gives a person child. Let us just pray together. Let's be united. Do not let this separate us. Amara would say, crying and begging him. But Edu was getting frustrated. He was building an empire and needed to be sure that he had sons that would take over all his sweat and hard work. So things continued for a while. They continued to quarrel over their childlessness. Her husband was frustrated. Then one day he called her and said, my dear, if you're not able to give me a child in the next 6 months, if you're not able to conceive, there's nothing wrong with me now. I am a sharpshooter. I remember how many women did abortion for me back in the days because I said I will not have a child outside wedlock. But I know myself. My chairman is working. So I know that the fault is not from me. I am a very sharpshooter. Odogo Aburo guy name. So my dear, if you know what is good for you, I'm giving you 6 months. You had better try and conceive. Oh. I don't mind paying. Go to the best of the best hospitals and find out what is wrong with you and treat yourself and make sure you conceive within the next 6 months. If not, you are out of this household. Ilala. Her husband said very angrily. Amara became very desperate. She started jumping from one church to the other. She knew that there was no point in visiting hospitals because she knew that she did not have a womb. Because during her escapade with her different boyfriends, she had committed several abortions. And the last one that she did had damaged her womb. But then how could she tell her husband that she was the one responsible for their childlessness? So her only hope was that God would forgive her and make her conceive. So she started jumping from one church to the other, from one ministry to the other, praying for a miracle to happen. And at the same time, she was going from one hospital to the other and conniving with the doctors to give her a clean bill of health, saying that there was nothing wrong with her. So things continued like this for a while. But one day, her husband got fed up. He didn't tell her anything. He just told her to follow him. And then he drove her to a hospital that was owned by his best friend Emeka, who was a gynecologist and an obstetrician, and told him to run all the necessary tests and find out what was wrong with his wife, because he knew that nothing was wrong with him. And so the doctor did all the tests and realized that she had no womb. Her womb had been severely damaged due to several abortions that she had done in time past. Her husband screamed, "How dare you? How dare you, Amara? So you know that you do not have a womb, and yet you agree to marry an Odogu without a womb. What do I need you for? Who will give me my sons that will take over my empire? Amara, you the wicked. Amara, you're a very stupid, wicked girl. After all that I have done for you, and yet this is how you choose to pay me back. If you know what is good for you, do not ever return to my house. If not, I will kill you with my bare hands." Her husband, Edu Brazil, screamed angrily at her and left her in the hospital and went back home angrily. As soon as he got back home, he instructed the gatesman not to allow Amara into his house anymore, as she no longer belonged there. Then he instructed all the maids and all the servants that Amara was no longer their madam and was no longer welcome in their home, and that anybody that dared let her back into his house should consider him or herself sacked. Edu was so upset, and he knew that he was done with the marriage. Meanwhile, Amara was still back in the hospital, crying and weeping and wailing. Her cover had been blown. She didn't know where to go from there, and she knew that her husband was serious. But then she attempted going back to the house to see if she could at least pack her things and, find somewhere to sleep for the day. But upon getting back home, even the gatesman did not allow her to enter the compound, saying that Oga had warned them not to let her into his home any longer. Amara cried and cried. She called her husband severally, but he refused to pick his call, and at some point, he even blocked her. Amara did not know where to go. The only thing that she had was her handbag that had her phone and her ATM cards. So for the night, Amara went ahead and lodged in a hotel. So for the next few weeks, she was living in a hotel. She tried reaching out to all her rich and classy friends, but none of them wanted anything to do with her because her husband had told their husbands what she did to him. And in no time, Amara began to run out of money. She did not have any savings. All the money that her husband had given her, she had used it to buy hair, to buy clothes, to buy jewelry, and everything was stuck in the house that she was not allowed to enter. Amara became very frustrated. So she tried to see if she could go to her home in Port Harcourt, since her husband would not allow her enter their home. She decided to see if she could go to the house that he had built for her. to stay there for the time being. But upon getting there, she realized that her husband had sold the property. Amara was furious. She broke down in tears, and then it occurred to her that he had never really given her any documents for the property. Yes, he said that he built the house for her and gave her the keys to the house, but never gave her the documents of the house. Unknown to Amara that the house was actually built in his name. So she decided to go back home to Owerri and go and live with her mother in the house that her husband had built for her mother. But upon getting there, she realized that her husband had also kicked her mother out of the house and had sold the house as well. Her husband had built all these properties in his name and had collected them back. Amara was so ashamed of herself. She broke down in tears and wept uncontrollably. She kept on going back to her matrimonial home to beg her husband, but nobody would let her in. She even tried begging the maids to at least help her bring her things out so that she could sell the bag, sell the hair, sell all the things that she had wasted money on so that she could have some money to take care of herself. But none of the maids helped her because when she was their madam, she was not good to them. Amara was so frustrated. She had no savings to her name. Everything that she owned was inside her husband's house. And even the properties that she thought belonged to her did not really belong to her. Amara was broke. So that was when she remembered her friend Ada and went back to Owerri to go and visit Ada. But surprisingly, Ada had become a big woman herself. Ada had gotten married to a young man, and together they had worked hard and built an empire for themselves. Ada let her into her home, and Amara fell to her knees, begging and crying, Ada, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I should have listened to you. I'm so sorry for cutting you off. I'm so sorry. Now my husband has abandoned me. He has thrown me out. Please find a place in your heart to forgive me. And Ada truly forgave her. But Ada told her that she no longer wanted her in her life, as she was a terrible friend. But regardless, Ada gave her 1 million naira to help her stand on her feet again. Amara thanked her profusely and left Ada's house in shame. But just barely 2 streets away, and 2 young men who were thugs came and attacked Amara and stole the 1 million naira from her. Amara wept and wept. She did not know why her life was just turning upside down. She went back home to her mother, and her mother even rejected her, calling her a cursed child for the humiliation that she had brought to her. Amara was so broken, she didn't know what to do. Now she had no money, she had no friends, she had no husband, and she had no family. Amara began to roam the streets of Owerri, confused. And after a while, she got a job as a waiter and began to wash plates and serve food at a local restaurant just so she could earn money to survive and so that she could eat every day. The great Amara had fallen. She had become a laughing stock as the news spread very quickly among all the friends that she had blocked because she became wealthy. Amara wished that she could turn back the hands of time, but it was already too late. Meanwhile, her husband moved on and got married to another beautiful lady whose name was Ugochi. And in less than a year, Ugochi had given him triplets, 3 bouncing baby boys, and he was so happy and treated her very well. Meanwhile, Amara continued to slave away at the local restaurants, serving food and washing dishes. Every night, she would lay awake in her room crying and weeping. She really wished she could turn back the hands of time, but it was already too late. Hi besties, it's your favorite storyteller, Omalicha. Thank you so much for watching my story to the end. So I'd like to hear your thoughts on this one as usual. I have a question for the ladies. If you get married to a very wealthy man, or if you're married to a wealthy man, would you stop working just because you're married to someone that can foot your bill? Do you think that Amara was stupid to have stopped working and stopped building anything for herself just because she married an Odogu Parara? That's one. Then secondly, have you ever been in a situation where it looked like your friend was now rich, or your friend became better, or became somebody, or got married, and your friend just cut you off like that? And you're wondering, what did I do? And you try to reach out to your friend, and your friend makes it look like, oh, we are no longer in the same level, you're no longer in my class. Have you ever been in that situation? And what would you have done if you were at that? Would you have still helped her even with the 1 million naira? Or would you have kicked her out of your house? Please share your thoughts with me in the comment section. And please support your home girl, Omalicha, by subscribing to my channel, liking my videos, and sharing with your loved ones. So now, till I come your way again with more interesting stories, bye.